Hi everyone, and welcome to Story Time again with this amazing picture board. This is the second story in a series that we're doing. Whether you're a child at school or whether you're a big child, I hope that you'll enjoy this story from the Bible. Now, these are not just stories, these are events that we believe really happened, and I hope that God will speak to you through them. You'll have some fun watching it, but also it will encourage you, and there'll be a message here as well that you will take away. So let's make it a sunny day. So we'll put the sun in the sky up here, put some clouds there as well. They're not going to be dark clouds today, they're going to be nice white clouds up there in the sky. Okay, what about a palm tree? There we go, lots of trees on the picture board today. Now, if you were here with me, I would say to you, look at the tree over there. It's probably an oak tree, but we're going to pretend it's apple tree, and we're going to put some apples on the tree. So if you were here, I'd get you to come and help me put these on. But as you're not, you can pretend that you're helping me put the apples on the tree today. There we go. There's a few there. It's springtime at the moment, and things are coming to life again. Flowers are beginning to bud. Put some fruit down here, some grapes, nice flowers, and some more over here. So this just sets the scene, really. Okay, let's put Jesus up here. He's my main character. Here we go. We believe that Jesus was God's son. He came down here, and it was a long time ago, but he chose people. He chose a group, a team. He was like a teacher, and he had some amazing things to say. In fact, when he was here, so many people wanted to come and listen to what Jesus had to say. I'm going to put groups of them up, so we've got a large crowd of people. When I do another story, we'll have an even larger crowd, but I want you to pretend that there are loads of people coming to listen to Jesus. He's a soldier. Okay, what kind of soldier do you think he is? Yes, I hear you saying, he's a Roman soldier. That's right. That's because at the time of Jesus, the Romans were in charge. In fact, actually, the people really didn't like that. And they were angry that the Romans were in charge. But even Roman soldiers came to listen to Jesus. Now, some of the people that became Jesus' friends and became part of his team and listened to him and wanted to do what he said was a group of ladies. Now, let's put these ladies here. This one's called Mary. This one's called Mary. And this one here, she's called Mary. In fact, I think at that time, everyone was called Mary. But actually, here's Joanna. We know that there were lots of people at that time that were called Mary. Jesus' mother, of course, was called Mary. She's not one of those. But these Marys, the three Marys and Joanna, were part of Jesus' team. Okay, now let me tell you about some of those who were also part of his team. Let's put Peter up here. This is Peter. Now, Peter had a brother, and his name was, I hear you saying, Andrew. That's right. And you know what? It was Andrew who first met Jesus, went home and said, hey, Peter, I just met someone that I want you to meet. He's amazing. Could he be the one that we're all waiting for? Could he be the one? And so Peter comes to Jesus, and both Peter and Andrew become part of his team, part of his class, I suppose we could say. Now, Peter was the kind of guy that always wanted to answer the questions first. Is that you? So whenever Jesus said something, it was like Peter's hand went up, and he was the one to say, yes! And he often got it wrong. We would say he would open his mouth and sometimes get it wrong or put his foot in it. But that was Peter. He had a lovely heart, but he often said things and then didn't do what he said. But Jesus really liked Peter. He loved Peter. And even when he made mistakes, he helped him. One day, Peter came to Jesus and said, my brother Andrew, do you know what? How many times do I need to forgive him? I'm fed up with him doing the same things all the time. He comes and says sorry. How many times? Should I forgive him 7? And Jesus said, get your calculator out. Times it by 70. I think he was kind of joking with that, really. He didn't really mention a calculator because I don't think they had calculators at that time. But Jesus said not 7, but 70 times 7. In other words, Peter, keep on forgiving. God forgives us, and we need to forgive others as well. I think Peter struggled with that, but he went away and he learned. Okay, let's put John over here. John had a brother as well. This is James. And both Peter and Andrew and John and James, they were fishermen. And, we sort of see yesterday, they would go out in their boats, they would catch fish and they would sell them in the marketplace. And they were like a team together, I suppose. They were like partners out there in their boats. But John and James were known for their stormy tempers. I don't know whether you've got a bit of a temper on you. I know I can at times. But Jesus gave them a nickname. He called them Sons of Thunder. It was kind of a jokey thing, I think, because they would lose their temper and it would sound like thunder. And I can imagine the others quite laughing when Jesus called them that. But you know what? They got on so well with Jesus and became part of his team. Let's put another big group over here. I'm going to tell you their names. One of them was called Philip. So there's Philip. He became one of Jesus' disciples, and the first thing he did when he met Jesus was to find his friend and say, I think I found the one that we're waiting for. A bit like what Andrew said to Peter. So that was Philip. Who else? Bart. There we are, that's Bart. Not Bart Simpson from The Simpsons, but Bartholomew. We don't know a lot about him, but we know he became one of Jesus' team. Okay, who else? Matthew. Where's Matthew? That one, that's Matthew. And Matthew used to work for the Romans. In fact, he was a tax collector. Now, if you ask your parents if they like tax collectors, they'll probably say no. In fact, Matthew worked for the Romans, so everyone hated Matthew. He actually used to cheat people out of money. They would pay him more because he would ask for more than he should have done. And so no one really liked tax collectors. In fact, they were called the bad people in the community. But Jesus said, Matthew, come and be one of my friends. Come and be part of my class, part of my team. I wonder whether he got beaten up by the other disciples sometimes. I'm saying that jokingly. But actually these guys who were so different from each other, they became the best of friends. In fact, they probably in the end would have done anything for one another. That's what it's like to make new friends, people that are different from us. So that's Matthew. Last night, some of us, in fact, so many people went out. They opened their front doors and they stood on their balconies and they clapped at 8 o'clock. They clapped all the doctors and the nurses and the people that work in the hospitals and who are helping so many sick people at the moment. And as a whole country, in fact, around the world, people clapped. People that are different from one another, they came out and there was such a lovely feeling that we are all together. And I think that the disciples were a bit like that as well. Who else? Okay, over here we have Thomas. He's one of Jesus' disciples. We will meet him in a couple of weeks' time when we talk about Jesus coming back to life again after he died. And Thomas said something, but I'm not going to tell you about that at the moment. That will be then. Who else? We got another James over here. This is another James. He was called Junior because there were two James, and he was probably the youngest of the two. So he was one of Jesus' friends. We have a guy called Simon. Now, my wooden sword. Simon belonged to a group of people who would fight the Romans because they didn't want the Romans ruling over them. So he used to fight them. So he was kind of not a nice guy, really. But Jesus said, Simon, come and be one of my friends. And I think Simon probably put his sword down and followed Jesus. And he began to change on the inside. He began to see things differently. He began to listen to the words that Jesus was speaking. I've got two more people. One of them, the last one over here, is called Judas. And he's the good Judas, so we can put a thumbs up. But the last one, this is called Judas Iscariot. And this Judas, he was the baddie. So I want you to go, boo. Okay, can't hear you? Boo! This is Judas Iscariot. In fact, when these guys travelled around, because they did most of their teaching, their class actually moved from place to place outside. They used to walk around and go from town to town. Jesus would teach them. And Judas was the one who looked after the money for everyone else. And it tells us in the Bible that he was a thief, and he would steal from the money that they'd all put in without others knowing. And it was Judas in the end who was kind of only pretending to be Jesus' friend and would be really mean to Jesus, and he would plot to hurt Jesus. And so we say boo when we come to Judas. So these are Jesus' friends. He's got 12 really close friends. From that 12, there were 3 of them, Peter, James, and John, who got even closer to Jesus. And they saw him, heard him say things and saw him do things that some of the others never heard. The ladies also, of course, Mary, and Joanna. And I think there were probably others as well. They also got to hear the amazing things Jesus said. These guys, who were so different, they came from different backgrounds, began to get on with one another. Why? Because they listened to what Jesus was saying. They listened to good teaching. They listened to what was right and didn't always do what was wrong. They weren't perfect. They still made mistakes. But do you know, just that message that Jesus taught Peter, we can forgive one another. We can say sorry, and we can start again. So this is a message about Jesus' friends, his team, his class. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time, when we have storyboard time, storytelling time, it will be about people Jesus met. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.